President Trump has cancelled a state visit to Denmark after its Prime Minister dismissed his proposal to buy Greenland as absurd. The President tweeted that Denmark is a very special country with incredible people, but based on Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen's comments that she would have no interest in discussing the purchase of Greenland, I, that is the President, will be postponing our meeting for another time. Well, let's speak now to Rasmus Jarlov, who's a Danish MP and spokesperson on Greenland for the Conservative People's Party. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being patient. What are your responses to this decision by President Trump to cancel his visit?
Well, it was very surprising, first of all, that he brought up the issue of buying Greenland, because there's nobody in either Denmark or Greenland that wants to sell it. So it came out of nowhere, and then he asked for an invitation to visit Denmark. He got one from our country, and then he declines the invitation. So it's a bit unusual, isn't it?
Well, unusual is a polite word. Do you actually feel angry?
I wouldn't say angry. We are a little bit insulted, to be honest, but it's such a strange situation that I think most of us don't know whether to laugh or be insulted, and I think we'll just choose to laugh, because it's a funny situation, and I think he totally got it wrong, whether he could buy Greenland or not. I don't know how he came up with this idea. It's been part of our country for centuries. And I think if there is an insult in it, the biggest insult is that he would assume that we would be willing to sell part of our country, like it wouldn't matter to us. It's like Denmark suggesting to buy Alaska or another part of the US. It's not going to happen. And I don't know how President Trump would have reacted to such a proposal, but I know that we would not have been insulted if he had turned it down.
So a couple of things. I mean, that's obviously responding to his willingness to buy rather than to his cancellation or suspension or postponement of the state visit. But going back a step, what do you think the motivation is on the US side for this? Why has Greenland become such a strategic target?
Well, it always has been. Greenland is right between Russia and the United States. They have a military base up there with radars that can see if Russia is sending missiles towards the United States, and that's a very important part of US defense. So it's always been important strategically. It's always been important to the US, and we have allowed them to have some troops up there and radar capacities, and there's no problem in that. We have a very smooth cooperation with the United States, and we'd like to continue that, but we don't want to sell it. And maybe he has observed that the Chinese are showing more interest in the Arctic region and also in Greenland specifically. Recently, they were considering whether to move in and build airports in Greenland and make big investments. And maybe that has caused more attention from the American side. That's possible.
I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for joining us.